Hola, hi. The journey from hiding to thriving isn't an easy one, and I'm not sure whether there is a final destination per se or whether it's an ongoing process, because I have the feeling there are layers to visibility, to making yourself feel seen to yourself, feel seen to other people, and feel seen in the right spaces. Because I have said that very often before, that it is important to know for yourself which spaces feel safe enough for you to show up and which spaces it is better to not show so much of you. I wanted to share a little bit about my own journey as an artist and creative entrepreneur from hiding to thriving, where I think or feel I'm at right now. First of all, I think when I look backwards, I have been always showing up, but it never was really consistent. I had phases of showing up and then phases of hiding again. And in my mind, when I look at it now, the consistency and being persistent piece, independent of how I am feeling, independent of how the outer world is reacting, is actually the key. Because when you hide for a long time and then you feel so annoyed with yourself, and that's at least was what used to happen to me, that you feel like you need to push through, and it can go like this all of the time, that you hide, then you push through, you push yourself over the edge. I've talked about this before, and so you go back into hiding. And the other route, where you take maybe things slower and in a way that feels good to you, takes more time. It takes time, it's slow, it takes a lot of trust, and it really takes that decision, that inward decision, to show up no matter what. And so for me, I started with that a year ago, when I decided to show up with these kind of videos consistently, independent of how I am feeling, independent of whether I'm going through difficult symptoms health-wise or not. Just do it, just show up. And the funny thing is, I so often have to overcome myself. Also today, I really had to. But once I get going, it makes me feel good about myself. It makes me feel much better. And after having been doing this consistently for a year now, it's a lovely realization to see that there are certain subjects that really matter to me and I want to talk about, and that I do have something to say, that I do have something to share. So this is definitely a win. And knowing also now, looking backwards at it, that yes, I can go through the apps where you feel like nothing is happening, and go through things where you get a reaction that was a little bit harsh, and I'm still here, I'm still alive. So that feels really good to me, because it's independent of the outer circumstances. And another thing that where I'm at in my journey is, so you might have noticed that in my shorts I do all sorts of things. I started challenging myself and do the goal is to do 100 little dance reels, because dance is one of my passions. I always have been dancing. And yes, because I also did physical theater, there's that overlap. And I believe it's important to, how shall I say, reactivate parts that maybe have gone a little bit, not necessarily into hiding, but have become a little bit lifeless. For sometimes it's circumstances and different reasons. And for me, it's like, it feels really great to activate my performer part again and just to dance emotions out. So that feels really like a new, different aspect I'm embarking on, and it feels really, really good to me. And when I was thinking about all of this, I found like for me, showing up really means to allow myself, and I want you to really hear this because I think it applies to many of us, to allow myself to show up with different facets. You know, I can be serious, I can be a deep thinker, I can be silly. When you see my drawings or other things I do, you can pick up on it. Or whimsical, I can dance with passion, and it's all allowed to be here. I really am not interested in just showing one side, or I'm not interested in being this or showing this side that's supposed to be so professional. There's many people who kind of comment, for example, that they like the way how I always make it fun, even though I'm talking about serious subjects. And I think I like doing that. I like bringing some lightness to the seriousness, and that feels good to me. So if that keeps some people from listening to me because they feel it's not professional enough, so what? So that's all of that. So I feel good about myself. I feel good about the journey. I'm sure there's much more to come. And for me, this is not really about, of course, I love that slowly but surely there's more people, reacting and more people following. But it's, if people want to learn from me how to get a following very quickly, I'm totally the wrong person. But if it's about wanting to embrace yourself more and to really find the courage and the guts to express yourself in different ways, then I'm your kind of a woman, because I think that's what it is about for me. I want to inspire other people that they find the courage to show up with different facets and not always the same way, that they dare to do something differently that they maybe always have longed to do, but they didn't have the courage. For me personally, at the moment, it's really primarily through social media. At some point, I would love in the future maybe to perform live again, but I don't know when that will be. I think I would need to be in a different phase of my process of healing from chronic things and so on and so forth. But for me at the moment, this feels like a good way to go. And I personally feel it's part of my healing journey to do those things. Because while I'm doing it, it feels like I do matter, I have an impact, and it feels freeing to express myself in different ways. So that's it for today. Got a little bit longer than I thought. But yes, join me on the journey from hiding to thriving as a multifaceted artist and creative entrepreneur. This is Anja. Have a lovely evening or rest of the day. Bye-bye.